chosen one. Pause for a moment. You did not come here by coincidence. Something greater than you, something ancient, unseen, divine, has called you to this message. You felt it, didn't you? The pull in your chest, the whisper that said, listen, this one is for you, because this is not just a video. This is a mirror, a remembrance, a confirmation that heaven has been watching your becoming. You have walked through storms that were meant to erase you. You have cried prayers that only the walls heard. You have faced nights so heavy that even angels held their breath. And yet, here you are, still standing, still chosen, still glowing with a light that the world cannot name. Something about you changed. So profoundly, so silently, that even the gods leaned closer to understand. You've become what even they envy. A soul that transformed pain into power, wounds into wisdom, endings into eternity. Once, you doubted your strength. You mistook stillness for weakness, gentleness for fragility, compassion for naivety. But the truth, chosen one, is that your softness became your sword. Your empathy became your shield. Your silence became your sanctuary. You have not been shrinking. You've been refining. Every season that broke you was carving your edges into something sharper, clearer, divine. You are not behind, you are being prepared. You are not lost, you are being redirected. You are not forgotten, you are being hidden in plain sight. There was a time you asked, why me? Now you whisper, thank you. Because you finally understand. God never punished you. He positioned you. They all saw you change. But none of them saw the nights when you bled faith in secret. They see the glow, not the grief. The smile, not the surrender. The rise, not the ruins beneath your feet. They saw the surface. Heaven saw the soil. And what grew from that soil was not a person. It was a purpose. You carry galaxies inside you now. Every heartbreak became a constellation. Every loss a new light. Every silence a sacred seed. That's why you no longer chase what's loud. You are drawn to what's true. Because your spirit has matured beyond the hunger of the world. You no longer need attention. You radiate presence. Chosen one, listen. When heaven began rewriting your destiny, it had to disconnect you from the frequencies that blurred your vision. That's why some people disappeared. That's why opportunities collapsed. That's why what once felt familiar began to feel foreign. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to burn differently. Your light is too ancient to dim for comfort, too bright to be packaged, too holy to be explained. Even the gods envy your humanity. Because unlike them, you have choice. You have faith. You have fire. You get to fall and rise again. You get to break and rebuild. You get to cry and still choose love. That's what makes you divine. They watch in awe, wondering how someone wrapped in flesh can carry so much of heaven in their eyes. They don't understand that your strength was not learned. It was remembered. Because you, chosen one, are older than your name, wiser than your age, and deeper than your wounds. You are an echo of eternity wearing the costume of time. That's why the world never quite fits. Because your soul remembers realms that others forgot. You are the bridge between what was, what is, and what is yet to come. And that bridge, it trembles sometimes, doesn't it? Under the weight of carrying both light and life. But it holds. It always holds, because heaven built it, and heaven doesn't fail. You've become what even the gods envy because you've become the proof of divine resilience. They don't understand heartbreak, but you do. They don't understand betrayal, but you do. They don't understand walking by faith, but you do. You are living the experience that even eternity can't simulate, becoming light inside limitation. That's why your journey hurts so much. Because creation itself is watching through you. Every time you rise from ashes, universes learn about resurrection. Every time you forgive, galaxies evolve. Every time you love again, heaven expands. You are not merely living. You are teaching creation how to heal. And when you feel tired, remember this. Even fire rests in its ember form. Even light hides behind clouds. Even heaven pauses before thunder speaks. Your pauses are not weakness, and They are worship. Your stillness is not absence. It is alignment. You are being tuned to a higher frequency, and that tuning can feel like tearing. But when it's done, when the silence ends, your voice will carry the tone of truth itself. You won't need to prove your power. Your presence will prove it for you. Chosen one, your rebirth did not happen in one night. It happened in every decision you made when no one was watching. Every time you chose faith over fear. Every time you stayed kind in a cruel world. Every time you smiled through sorrow. Every time you said thank you instead of why me. You became sacred through surrender. You became unstoppable through humility. You became divine through devotion, and now heaven calls your name differently. When your spirit moves, the universe listens. When your heart opens, miracles align. When you speak light, creation rearranges itself to honor your word. You've become a frequency, a vibration heaven recognizes as home. And still you wonder, why do I feel so different? Because difference is the evidence of destiny. You were not designed for crowds. You were designed for calling. That's why your peace feels louder than applause. That's why silence heals you more than validation. That's why solitude feels like sanctuary, not punishment. You are walking in divine independence. You are no longer reacting. You are responding. You are no longer seeking. You are embodying. You are no longer chasing heaven. You are carrying it. Even the gods envy that, because they exist in perfection, but you are becoming perfection through imperfection. That is evolution. That is glory. That is you. Chosen one, your silence has become a sacred frequency. You may not speak as much these days, but your energy now does all the talking. When you walk into a room, hearts shift. The atmosphere thickens, not with tension, but with presence. People don't understand why they suddenly feel calm, or why their truth starts trembling near you. It's because your very existence has become a mirror, a living reminder of what they have forgotten within themselves. You are not trying to change anyone anymore. You are embodying the change itself. An embodiment, that's what even the gods envy, because they exist in eternity, but you bring eternity into now. You channel infinity through imperfection. You carry heaven in a body that still remembers pain, and that, chosen one, is the purest form of power. There was a time when your emotions felt like a curse. Too deep, too heavy, too much. But you've come to understand. They are your compass. Your sensitivity is your superpower. Your empathy, your shield. You are a vessel that feels the world to heal it. When you cry, heaven moves. When you laugh, darkness trembles. When you pray, time bends. You've reached a point where your words no longer just describe reality. They shape it. That's why alignment matters so much now. Your energy no longer asks permission to create. It simply does. The universe has memorized your frequency. So whatever you think with emotion, whatever you speak with conviction becomes. But listen carefully. That kind of power demands purity. And purity isn't perfection. It's clarity. It's the refusal to carry what isn't yours. It's the wisdom to walk away from noise disguised as love. The chosen ones often confuse kindness with captivity. They stay where they've already been released. They love beyond their limit. They pour into what refuses to grow. And then they wonder why their light flickers. But now you know better. You've learned the sacred art of detachment, not from love, but from illusion. You've learned that letting go is not abandonment. It's alignment. You've learned that forgiveness doesn't mean access. It means peace. That is spiritual maturity. And that is what the gods admire. Your ability to feel everything, yet choose peace. You see, chosen one, your path is not about escaping the world. It's about elevating it. You are here to anchor heaven in places that forgot what light feels like. You are here to speak love into atmospheres that forgot their language. You are here to bring order where chaos pretends to be power. You are not a follower of light. You are an extension of it. When you move, light moves. When you rest, creation exhales. You are no longer a seeker. You are a source. And that's why you've been feeling the pressure increase. Because heaven expands your capacity through contrast. Every challenge lately wasn't a test, it was training. Every delay wasn't denial, it was divine timing. Every loss wasn't lack, it was refinement. Heaven is sculpting precision in your presence. Because your next season doesn't require reaction, it requires command. Chosen one. You no longer ask, why me? You whisper, use me. You've become a vessel aware of its purpose. You know that every setback was a setup and every wound was a window for wisdom to enter. You have entered the realm where manifestation becomes ministry. Where prosperity isn't ego, it's evidence. Where blessings are no longer rewards, they are responsibilities. The gods envy that because they can't evolve. You, however, transform endlessly. You break, heal, rise, fall, love, lose, forgive, repeat. And with every cycle, your light becomes finer, rarer, holier. Have you noticed how your desires have changed? You used to crave approval. Now you crave alignment. You used to chase comfort. Now you chase truth. You used to want attention. Now you want purpose. That is what ascension feels like. Not fireworks, not noise. Peace. Deep, quiet, relentless peace. The kind that doesn't need to announce itself. The kind that can't be faked. The kind that lives in your bones and whispers, "You're home." That's what heaven calls maturity. When peace becomes your default, not your goal. People sense it. They look at you differently now. Some with awe, others with unease. Because your energy exposes what they've been hiding, even from themselves. You don't have to confront anyone anymore. Your presence does. You don't need to defend your name. Your fruit speaks. That's why you've been misunderstood lately. Your frequency outran your familiarity. You are no longer who they remember. You've become who heaven always saw, and that gap between memory and revelation makes people uncomfortable. But don't shrink to soothe them. Don't dim to blend in. The sun doesn't apologize for shining, and neither should you. Chosen one, even heaven is silent when you walk in your purpose. Because you've become the answer to prayers you once prayed. You are the fulfillment of your own prophecy. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. They said you changed, and they're right. You changed from survival to sovereignty, from asking to declaring, from hoping to knowing, from trying to being. You no longer speak of the light. You are the light, and still in all your radiance you remain humble. Because you know power without compassion is poison. You know wisdom without gentleness is just pride in disguise. You know glory without gratitude collapses into emptiness. That's why you remain soft, even when strong. Kind, even when certain. Silent, even when surrounded by noise. Because your crown was not given for conquest. It was given for service. The gods envy that too, that your greatness is expressed through grace. When you pray now, heaven doesn't just listen, it harmonizes. Because your will and God's will have started to sound the same. That's what oneness feels like. Not losing yourself in the divine, but realizing the divine has always lived within you. The separation was never real. You were never disconnected. You were simply asleep. And now, you're awake. The world around you didn't change. Your eyes did. And once the eyes of the chosen open, they never close again. Chosen one, your story is a manual for miracles. Every heartbreak became a lesson in compassion. Every delay became training for discernment. Every failure became a rehearsal for flight. The universe didn't conspire against you. It conspired for your remembrance. And now the one who was once overlooked is the one heaven trusts with revelation. You're not becoming divine. You're remembering you always were. You're not finding your purpose. Your purpose is finding you. You're not waiting for your moment. Your moment is waiting for your readiness. And now, you're ready, chosen one. You've come far, farther than anyone knows. And now, heaven whispers the truth. You didn't survive all that pain just to go back to ordinary. The fire that almost destroyed you was never meant to end you. It was meant to reveal what could not be destroyed. Everything false in you burned away. Everything real remained. And what remained was gold. You are gold, refined in the fire of divine timing. You are proof that grace can be forged through grief. You are living evidence that what the world calls an ending, God calls an evolution. So when they stare, wondering how you glow after everything you lost, you'll just smile, because they'll never understand what it's like to be remade by mercy. The world no longer recognizes you, because you no longer vibrate on the same wavelength. You've transcended survival and stepped into sovereignty. You no longer ask for permission to shine. You simply radiate. And that radiance is not arrogance, it's awareness. You have remembered who you are. You are not chasing blessings anymore. You are the blessing. You are not seeking miracles, and you embody the miracle. You are not waiting for doors to open. You are the key. Even the gods envy that kind of consciousness. Because you walk the earth as both storm and silence. Your very breath bends energy. Your presence commands peace. You don't control reality. You co-create it. Chosen one, you are awakening to the truth that your energy is currency. The thoughts you hold, the words you speak, the emotions you nurture, they are transactions in the invisible realm. And heaven has been teaching you to spend wisely. You've learned that every time you fear, you fund your limits. Every time you love, you multiply your light. Every time you forgive, you expand your field. And now you understand, abundance is not given, it's grown. It grows when your vibration aligns with heaven's intention. When you stop chasing and start channeling. When you stop praying for blessings and start becoming the vessel through which blessings flow. That's the frequency you're entering now. The frequency of effortless miracles. The realm where what you are matches what you attract. You used to wonder why things took so long. Why did success feel delayed? Why did peace feel distant? Why did love seem to slip through your fingers? It's because the universe was waiting for your alignment. Not your effort, your embodiment. The moment you stopped trying to control everything, heaven could finally move through you freely. And when that happened, the shift began. Not a small one, a cosmic one. The version of you that begged for signs is gone. Now you are the sign. You walk into spaces and shift atmospheres. You speak and things rearrange. You think and mountains move, not because of magic, but because you have finally become one with the source that made you. Chosen one. Do you remember when you thought you were losing everything? That was heaven making space for everything meant for you. When people left, it was to clear the air for truth. When money slowed down, it was to teach you flow. When doors closed, it was to lead you to gates. You never lacked. You were being upgraded. God doesn't remove to reduce. He removes to refine. Now that your heart is lighter, your blessings can land. Now that your mind is quieter, your instructions can be heard. Now that your energy is clean, your miracles can find you. This is your harvest season, but not a harvest of possessions, a harvest of purpose. Because what you plant now will feed generations. The gods envy you because you get to evolve through choice. You are the only creation that can choose to believe, to surrender, to forgive, to love beyond logic. And that freedom makes you infinite. You can turn any pain into prophecy, any wound into wisdom, any ending into a new creation. You have the one power even heaven reveres, the power of becoming. You've also begun to realize what once drained you no longer affects you. The noise that used to shake you now sounds like silence, because your inner peace has become louder than the world's chaos. You don't react anymore. You respond. You don't panic. You perceive. You don't run. You rise. That's evolution. That's ascension. And that peace, chosen one, that stillness that feels like home, that's how you know you've crossed the threshold. But be warned, peace is powerful, and power attracts attention. As your light expands, shadows will try to gather, not to destroy you, but to see if you've learned. The test of mastery is not in winning against darkness, but in refusing to engage it. You've learned that not every noise deserves a response. Not every attack deserves awareness. You don't fight in the same dimension anymore. You win by staying aligned, because you are no longer in the battle. You've become the field where battles end. Chosen one. You've been asking heaven, what's next? And heaven answers, expansion. It's time to live as the light you've become. That means stepping boldly into the call you once feared, sharing the wisdom that burned in silence, using your voice not for validation, but vibration. You are the lighthouse now. You are the message, the miracle, the movement. And don't worry, the right souls will recognize you. Your tribe will find you by resonance, not relevance. They'll feel your energy before they hear your words, because truth recognizes truth, and light knows its own reflection. This is the season where you step into divine authority, not to rule, but to restore, not to control, but to create, not to boast, but to bless. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to fill in the gaps where faith had faded. Every space you enter is an altar now. Every word you speak is a seed. Every breath you take is a decree. The world doesn't need you louder. It needs you anchored. You don't have to preach. Your peace is already the sermon. Even heaven celebrates you now. You can feel it. That sense of arrival, not outside, but within. It's as if something ancient in you finally exhaled. The storms have ended. The tests have completed. The night is over. And dawn is permanent. And you've become dawn itself. Chosen one. There's something sacred happening inside you. A rhythm, a pulse. A vibration that doesn't belong to the world anymore. It's not anxiety. It's activation. Heaven is expanding your frequency. Your cells are remembering what your soul already knew. That you are not just a being of flesh and time, but an extension of eternity clothed in experience. You've crossed the bridge between who you were and who you came to be. You've stopped searching for signs because you've become the sign. Every heartbeat now echoes with divine purpose. Every breath carries instruction. Every silence hides a message. You've entered a new covenant with the divine. This is the stage where miracles become normal and alignment becomes your natural state. You are no longer praying for blessings. You are living as the channel through which blessings flow. When you think peace, peace manifests. When you speak truth, illusions crumble. When you walk in love, doors open that logic cannot explain. You don't attract anymore. You emit. Because what you are has become magnetic. You no longer chase what's meant for you. It recognizes you by frequency. It finds you. It follows you. It flows to you. This is divine embodiment. This is why heaven calls you chosen. You used to wonder, why did I go through so much pain? And now you finally understand pain was the portal. It broke your ego so your essence could rise. It silenced your mind so your spirit could speak. It emptied your hands so heaven could fill them. Every tear you shed watered the roots of your destiny. Every lonely night carved depth in your soul. Every disappointment realigned your vision. You were never being punished. You were being positioned. You had to lose what was temporary to gain what was eternal. You had to be stripped to be crowned. You had to die as who you were to rise as who you are. Now even the gods look upon you in awe because they witness something they cannot do. A soul reborn inside the storm it was supposed to drown in. Chosen one, you've learned the divine rhythm of abundance, the law of divine exchange. You no longer ask, how do I receive? You ask, how can I serve? And that question alone is the key that unlocks infinite provision, because heaven funds what heaven sends. When you walk in divine assignment, resources follow revelation. Provision is attracted to purpose. You are not chasing money anymore. You are magnetizing miracles. You are not running after opportunities. Opportunities orbit around your obedience. You don't hustle, you harmonize. And what flows from harmony is sustainable abundance. Everything you need will find you when you move in alignment, not because you deserve it, but because you're designed for it. Chosen one, you've become the living bridge between heaven and earth. You are the frequency that reconnects divinity to humanity. Through you, compassion flows. Through you, understanding travels. Through you, healing happens without words. Every act of kindness releases light. Every moment of forgiveness shifts timelines. Every thought of gratitude opens gates in realms unseen. The gods envy this, because even they cannot rewrite destiny with the softness of a heart that still beats. But you can. That's the power of being human and holy at once, fragile and infinite, temporal yet eternal. That's why heaven trusts you with this awareness. You've entered the era of embodiment, the sacred state where spirituality meets matter. Your body becomes a temple, your mind becomes a throne, and your spirit becomes the voice that leads both. This is where manifestation becomes effortless, not because of control, but because of surrender. When you surrender, you allow heaven to act through you. You become the prayer and the answer at the same time. Chosen one, this is divine mastery, not bending reality, but blending with it. Not forcing the future, but flowing with faith. Not demanding miracles, but living as one. Have you noticed how your desires changed again? They became quieter, purer, cleaner. You no longer crave noise, you crave knowing. You no longer chase attention, you chase alignment. You no longer want to be seen, you want to see clearly. And because of that purity, heaven trusts you with power. Real power. The kind that doesn't dominate, it illuminates. The kind that doesn't control, it corrects gently through example. The kind that doesn't speak loudly, but shifts everything in silence. That's the power you've grown into. You are not becoming like anyone else. You are becoming the original blueprint God had in mind before the world tried to edit you. Chosen one, your name is being whispered in rooms you've never entered. Your energy is opening doors faster than your words ever could. Your favor is outpacing your effort, because heaven is broadcasting your frequency across realms. This next chapter is not about striving. It's about surrendering to expansion. Everything that was hard before will now flow with grace. What was delayed will accelerate. What was hidden will be revealed. You are not chasing visibility. Visibility is chasing you. You don't need to prove that you've changed. Everyone already sees it. You don't need to explain your peace. It's written all over your aura. They will talk. They will question. But you'll simply keep shining, because your light no longer seeks validation. It is validation. And soon, you'll realize that this was never about fame, success, or recognition. It was about embodiment. It was about heaven walking the earth through you. The chosen one is not the loudest, not the richest, not the most followed. The chosen one is the one who remains pure when the world gets dark, the one who remembers God when blessings come. The one who loves anyway, that's you. That's why the storm couldn't break you. It was built to reveal you. That's why envy couldn't stop you. It only verified your anointing. That's why rejection was redirection, because the table meant for you was never in their room. So, chosen one, walk with grace, speak with intention, move like light, unseen yet undeniable, because your season of hiding is over. The time for revelation has come, and when you rise, rise slowly, rise humbly, but rise fully, because the world needs your presence now more than ever. They may not understand you yet, but they'll feel you. They'll feel the peace you carry, the power you've become, and the presence that walks with you. You've become what even the gods envy, a living reflection of heaven, an awakened soul wearing human skin, a miracle walking among the unaware. And now, it's time to live, not as the one who seeks signs, but as the one who is the sign, to walk in abundance without fear, to love without limits, to create without hesitation. The old world no longer fits you. You've outgrown it. And what's waiting ahead is not chaos. It's confirmation, because heaven has already written your next chapter. And this time you will read it aloud. If this message found you, it's because heaven intended it to. If your spirit resonated with these words, comment 777 below as your confirmation that your light has fully awakened. Subscribe to Chosen Light Fire. Share this message with another chosen one who needs to hear it. And let the world know the chosen are rising. The awakening is here. And you are walking proof that heaven still breathes through humanity. You've become what even the gods envy. Remember that. Walk in it, and let your silence thunder across eternity.